Charles?
Well, I would agree. Romney really is the front runner. He's done himself well. He's a grown-up. He knows economics. He's trusted on that. There's also a tradition among Republicans of nominating the next in line, as we did with George Bush Sr. in 1988, Dole in 96, and McCain in 08. Sort of the last grown-up who was left over from the last campaign. And I think that Romney has done well. Look, he's a guy who's as clean can get. You're not going to wake up in the morning and discover he's crying in Argentina. This is a solid guy, and he's got a record. Now, as to Palin, I agree entirely with what Mara said. She has star power without any doubt. She has extremely devoted following, but she's not a serious candidate for the presidency. She had to go home and study and spend a lot of the time on issues in which she was not adept last year, and she hasn't. She has to stop speaking in cliches and platitudes. It won't work. It could work for 8 weeks if you're the number 2 candidate, as she was last year, but even so, she got singed a lot in that campaign. You cannot sustain a campaign of platitudes and cliches over a year and a half if you're running for the presidency.
Is that true, Fred? She's not a serious contender?
Well, I don't know that anybody's a serious contender right now, but I think, Charles, you're a little premature in writing her off. I agree. She's got some homework to do. There's plenty of time to do that. But what strikes me about what's going on now with that story in Vanity Fair, attacking her every which way, is how much liberal elites and the media, which is a big part of the whole liberal elite class, and even some Republicans elites hate Sarah Palin. They loathe her. And it's not really political. I mean, liberals don't think she's a serious challenger for the presidency, but they hate her anyway. It's cultural. She's everything they don't like. Middle class, working class, a woman who's pro-life and is a serious Christian, and I mean, culturally they hate her, and they take every chance to pound her. I mean, Vanity Fair magazine, 9,000 words attacking Sarah Palin.
But that article is citing Republican McCain insiders.
Well, they're Republican elites who don't like her either, and these people in the McCain, I know they are, and I suspect who they are, though I don't know for sure. And these are people who've trashed her, partly to justify themselves and the poor job they did in the McCain campaign.
Fred, look, I would agree on the viciousness, the unfairness of the attacks on her ever since her nomination last year. But still, that doesn't change the fact that if you want to be a presidential candidate for the Republican Party, you have to be able to speak on issues of which she cannot yet. And yes, there is time, but months are wasting away. She ought to bone up, and then I think she'd be reconsidered as a serious candidate.